What's up, guys? I'm Ryan with Ryan Epps Fishing. I am back out here on the water today. I'm doing a little bit of fishing, but in today's video, we're talking shad. Y'all stick around. I'm gonna pour a little information on y'all today, and hopefully by the end of today's video, y'all are gonna know a little bit more about these slimy little fish right here, and hopefully be able to put a few more fish in the boat. Y'all enjoy the video. All right, guys, let's talk about some shad. You know, anytime I hear people talk about shad and, you know, or they're catching bait, it's crazy to me that when you're talking to these people, you realize that a lot of them don't know the difference. I mean, they know what a shad is, they know how to recognize a shad, but they have no idea what kind of shad they have. In a lot of our lakes and rivers around here in East Tennessee, we have two main types of shad, and that is the GIZZARD Shad and the THREADFIN Shad. Today, I'm gonna show both of them to you. I went out, I netted some bait this morning, and I've got a variety of different stuff in the tank here, and I just wanna go over them with you, help you identify them, so that way the next time that you're out on the water, you know exactly what kind of shad you're dealing with. And this doesn't just pertain to live bait fishermen. I mean, knowing your bait and knowing it well has helped me across the board in my fishing. You know, whether you're a bass fisherman and you need to know what the bass are keying on, or any type of fisherman and need to know what the fish are keying on and what they're eating, this is a big deal, because all these different bait fish have certain different tendencies. They get to different size ranges. You know, they have different comfort zones water-wise that they want to hang out in. And if you know what the fish are keying on, and you know where the particular type of bait that they're keying on likes to hang out, it can help you find fish and ultimately put a lot more fish in your boat. So let's get started. Is a GIZZARD Shad right here. It is a GIZZARD Shad. They get to be pretty big, just like the THREADFIN. They're going to have this little dorsal tail off the back here. You see these in every lake around here, every river. They're going to be just a little bit different shade color wise. They've got a very rounded nose to them there, and they're pretty easy to spot. GIZZARD shad are abundant in this area, and when the bass, stripe, or anything are really targeting a big meal, this is what they target. GIZZARD shad are pretty hardy, and they do get pretty big. Other than skipjack, which is something that we're not really going to talk about today, but other than skipjack, GIZZARD shad are going to get the biggest out of the species of shad that we have here. What a lot of people get confused with GIZZARD shad, if I can find one here, what a lot of people get confused with GIZZARD shad, and they'll think that they have GIZZARD shad. They're actually dealing, if I can get it here, they're actually dealing, that's not productive at all. Not productive at all. I hope I got another one. Yeah, I do. They're dealing, a lot of people confuse these with GIZZARD shad, and they're not. These are THREADFIN shad. Once again, we have got just a pile of them around here in this area. This is actually a pretty decent sized one. They don't get huge, you know. To me, this is a pretty decent sized THREADFIN right here. They do get a little bit bigger than this. You'll hear a lot of people around this area call them yellowtails, and that's because they do have, shocker, a yellow tail. This is a THREADFIN shad. This is a GIZZARD Shad. Now, I've used most of the ones that I've had that are a little bit smaller this morning. So for demonstration purposes, we're gonna have to use this bigger fella right here. Threadfin shad, they don't get near as big as gizzard shad. Gizzard shad get much, much bigger. They can get very big. And a lot of people that net shad and are not used to doing it, they're netting these guys right here, netting these threadfin, and they're mistaking them for gizzards. The easiest way that I can tell to show you the difference between the two is if you look at their snout. A threadfin shad will always have a more pointed snout to them, okay? A gizzard shad is always gonna have a much more rounded snout right there, okay? Threadfin shad are a lot more slender bait fish. Gizzard shad, they're gonna get quite a bit thicker, okay? They both have the dorsal tail, so you can't go by that. Threadfin shad are also a lot more metallic bait fish than a gizzard shad. But you're gonna find them in a lot of the same places and a lot of times of the year. All right. Now, let's move on. I got a couple other little treats in here for y'all. If I can find one of them, I will show y'all something that I bet some of you ain't ever even seen before. Now, this next bait fish is not a shad. This next one is actually a member of the herring family, and any of y'all that are from around here, you may or may not have heard of them. I didn't start learning about them until I started striper fishing, and that's when I became acquainted with them. But they're in Cherokee, they're in Norris, they're in Watts Bar. It's an Alewife herring, and they're typically a deep bait fish. They're a very open water oriented species of herring, and they live very deep. A lot of times in the summer, if you've got a lake that has got herring in it, alewife herring, a lot of times those deep fish, that's what they're feeding on, and I'm going to show you that right now. That is an alewife herring right there. Very, very metallic, very active bait fish. You know, they've got large eyes, very fast bait fish. And in the summertime, this is what a lot of your fish out deep are feeding on right here. So, you know, like I say, we've got those in Cherokee, we've got those in Norris, we've got those in Boone, which is a small lake to the east of us here. Watts Bar, you know, they're in a lot of these lakes, but you don't see them and you don't hear a lot about them because, like I say, you know, they stay deep a lot of the time, and you know, they're hard to get, and you know, that's why a lot of people have not even ever seen them. They look a lot like a blueback herring, but you know, we don't have a ton of blueback herring in our area, so you do have to be careful about that because it is illegal to have blueback herring here in the state of Tennessee. But that is an alewife right there. And for those of y'all that's never seen one, that is what they look like. Now, I know that I have got one more down here that some of y'all may be calling a shad that ain't one. Here we go. I see a lot of these on Watts Bar. I know Fort Loudon's got them too. This is not a shad. This is a golden shiner. Like I say, Watts Bar's got quite a few of them. Fort Loudon's got quite a few of them. I can't say, I maybe have caught a few out of Cherokee, but don't quote me on that. That is not a shad. That is a golden shiner, and they are, once again, shocker, they're pretty golden in color, and they do get pretty big. You know, every now and then you'll catch them in the cast net, and you know, they don't, to me, they don't make great bait. I usually throw one in the tank if I happen to have one, just, you know, if they're wanting something different. I'll throw that down there just like I did now. But All right, guys, so for those of y'all that are wanting to get into doing a little live baiting, I'm going to show you all how I hook these guys. Now, for a threadfin shad, since like I say, they do have that much smaller snout on them there, it's a much narrower snout, and you don't have a whole lot of meat there. For these, I don't like to go through both nostrils. Most of the time for a threadfin shad, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through one nostril and out through the mouth, just like that right there. That's all I'm going to do. One nostril straight out through the mouth, and you're good to go. I'm not going to put the hook through both lips. That's one thing you don't want to do. That's going to kill it. And if you try to put it through both nostrils, it's not going to stay on there. First time a catfish bumps it, or anything bumps it, it's going to rip through that little top portion of the snout there, and you're going to be out of luck. So, threadfin shad, out through one nostril, and out through the mouth. That's how I take care of threadfin. Let's talk about how Alright, now let's talk about how I'm going to hook up a gizzard shad. This hook's a little bit small for a bait this size, but for educational purposes, we'll let that one slide. So a gizzard shad, you know, like I showed y'all before, it's got a much meatier snout on it. You got a lot more meat to work with there. So for a gizzard shad, I am going to go through both nostrils, just like that. That's exactly how it should look. Put that sucker in the water, he's gonna stay alive, and you're good to go. You're good to chase after him. Never, 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 ever. Let me tell you something that drives me nuts. What drives me nuts is people that go out here and they work their ass off throwing that cast net to get them some good bait. And they get them some nice pretty gizzards, whoo! And they get them some nice pretty gizzards and stuff. They get them some nice bait fish. And they bring them out here and they run the hooks through their back, through their tail, through their butt, and all kinds of different ways. I don't even know how they come up with some of this crap. And it just makes me cringe. I'm thinking, good Lord, you just did all that work and you got that bait. And then you're gonna drive a hook through it. They ain't gonna stay alive very long if you do that. It ain't gonna be very natural if you do that. They're not gonna swim right. And it's just, it totally, to me, it totally defeats the purpose. Unless you're not worried about keeping them alive. You know, if you're targeting catfish or whatever and you're wanting them dead, then, hey, just ignore what I just said and that'll be good to go. But if you're wanting to keep a good live bait under your boat, don't go hooking them things through the back, belly, sides, butt, whatever, you know, just don't do it. Through one nostril, right out the other one. You can hook the gizzard shad the same way I showed you how to hook the threadfin shad. You can come right out the one nostril and right out the mouth. I personally, just for me, it's just personal preference, I like to go through both nostrils on the gizzard shad. I think they work a lot better like that. Your goal is to do as little damage to your bait as possible, and they should be as lively as that right there. I mean, that's a good looking bait right there. So take care of your bait, hook them the way they're supposed to be hooked, know what you have, and you're gonna put more fish in the boat, I guarantee it. Hopefully now you're going to be able to tell the difference between those threadfin and gizzards, or whatever bait fish you may have out there in your body of water, and be able to figure out what those fish are keying on a little bit better, and understand a little bit more what's going on under the water, and hopefully it'll put more fish in the boat for you. If you like the videos, guys, make sure you go hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That's going to let you all know when I put out all my new videos. If you got any questions or comments for me, go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below. I will get back to y'all with any answers that I can give you. Until next time, y'all make some time, get out there on the water and catch you a few. I'm Ryan Epps. Y'all have a good one.